Lucha Libre wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I'm your host, Joe Panther, the third, and man, my heart beats even harder right now because I have a fellow Borinquen here on the Dudes at Ringside podcast. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome back to my friend and yours. Welcome back, fellow Borinquen. How is everything going? How are you?
Well, first of all, hola, hola. I'm all good. Just very excited because I'm just dying to September to happen already, and you're probably gonna ask about that later on. But I'm just
Yeah, well,
excited.
I have to give you a lot of information about this young lady that you're wrestling, and it kind of gives me the because I'm a good guy, and like all the and the yuckies, because I'm a good guy. She's a heel, so it's kind of like and you're a fellow Boricua. So, like, what have you been up to since the last time we hung out in the Dudes at Ringside Studios?
Oh wow. Well, I guess a lot, but it's weird saying a lot because it's like I don't know where to start. Um, So the company I was last known as interviewing, unfortunately, it had like a indefinite shutdown.
Mm.
So I started my way back and I began interviewing for International Wrestling Association, also known as IWA in Puerto Rico, where I was taken aback when they took me out of as an interviewer and I started wrestling. They literally took the microphone off of me, which was kind of like scary but fun. Um, I've also been wrestling back at the school I'm from, Spiritu Pro Wrestling Dojo. I had quite the fun mini Florida Puerto Rico 2.0 tour back in May.
Mm.
And now I'm just patiently waiting for August 26th and a lot of things happening in September. Because I was like, I've been literally like a month without wrestling, and it's just weird to me at this point. So I'm just excited to get back on the ring.
Like, that's the thing. Like, when I first got you back in the day, it was just like you were just coming in and you heard about the podcast and you were like, oh my gosh, you guys are doing so much, and it made me happy even more that you're like our first person actually from the island of Puerto Rico. So
Yes,
like it's just like something. I remember when you finally debuted for Liberty Pro. What was it
yeah,
like? What was it like
I
to
was so
wrestle with
excited. It was
a
that
legend?
happened as well, right? I almost forgot about. They brought me back in July.
Yeah, how was it to wrestle with Liberty? I love Liberty Pro, by the way. How was it to wrestle for Liberty Pro?
I love Daryl. He's the best.
Yes, oh, I love him. Ugh.
He's the best, and he only picks the best girls. He's a very respectful human being. Not something you can say much like about a lot of people in general. Like not wrestling world, life wise. You can't just like blindly trust anybody. He's the kind of person I would literally like. I trust you with my life.
Mm.
I love the place there. I love the energy, the girls. Like I only had like the girls that from last time. I only had two that were the same, and we all just got along so well. And it was so much fun for the first time. December, we had like a little funny story because it was me from Puerto Rico. There was Chantal that was from Canada,
I know Chantel.
and Ella, who both of them were rooming, and then we just went like crazy during that day. I also did a fun Target trip with because we have a Target next to the hotel, and if you know anything about Puerto Rico, is we freaking love our Target because we don't have one here.
What?
We don't have a Target here,
Well,
so we go crazy.
Target in
We
Puerto
go
Rico.
Target crazy.
That's crazy. You
And
must have been like,
Chantal hadn't gone to a Target either, so we did the whole like even after the matches, we went to Target. We had a blast.
oh god.
I love the fact that he takes so much time and effort, like Daryl, for like the matches. He wouldn't accept something that's disrespectful or because he's like, oh, if you want that kind of like wrestling, there's these other websites. This is just not what we do. So I respect and admire him that, like, for a lot of things, but that's like the main one. He respects his workers, and I'm very excited that I got to be back there in July and on a 4th of July weekend, which was kind of freaking crazy, but it
Yeah,
was awesome.
and hot too. Think we're talking about
Oh,
you're in the
yes.
South,
But
and it's
I'm
not like
already
it's
like here suffering all year long. I went in December and I had the puffy jacket, and yeah, and I went in May and they're like, it's so hot here. And I'm like, oh, this is nothing. I'm in like 110 degrees in Puerto Rico. This is fine.
you got to bring him to Puerto Rico. You got to tell him, come to Puerto Rico. We'll show you what it's like over here.
I'll show you what hot's like.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy because they have good food in Puerto Rico. Give him a nice Ben Neal and a big pot of rice, plate of rice and beans, and he won't want to leave.
And
He'll start a
mofongo.
Puerto Rico version. Oh my God! Imagine he starts one in Puerto Rico, like a Liberty in Puerto
Oh,
Rico.
that'd be so cool though. Because I think it's only done once. Like some Thunder Rosa did some custom matches back in 2010, 2020, 2021. I'm not really sure. She did some custom matches in Puerto Rico, but that was like debuted at Goodbye. I don't know if like it's something. It would be very interesting who would take up on that project though.
Mm. But yeah, so let's now go into the elephant in the room, your big match this weekend at VPW. Like the young lady you're wrestling, she's a heel. She will go through all kinds of things just to keep that belt. She's taken on so many big name, like upcoming indie wrestlers, and she's got her way out of it and she's won that belt. She's retained that belt. I know in my heart, you, my fellow Borincan, you will come out on top. Even though I'm biting my tongue because that lady will do anything to
She
keep
will.
that belt. She
But
will.
you're also forgetting about a detail in that equation. On the VPW's last show, a number one contender was also chosen.
Mm,
So the odds, I'm not sure if they're in my favor at this point because of a 50% chance of winning. Now I have a 33%.
mm. I still feel it, girl. I feel it. You're doing so much right now. You're like. There's another place you have to definitely try to come to, and I'll give you the information when we're done. I could say it right now. PPW in Slatington, Pennsylvania, has so many awesome wrestlers. So
Let's
many
see.
awesome. Paul Bow, he's a great man. Their promotion, they have a lot of Danny Moe, the Neon Nightmare from the Neon Blonde. She's there. Oh my gosh, there's so many wrestlers in that promotion. I went there
I've
once.
seen them. I've seen them for a while now. It's amazing. Like there's so many amazing promotions. Like I just want to get, dive into them.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania might be, only God knows, my next mini tour, like I call them, or Texas. Who knows? I'm just gonna
I'll
go
be
crazy now. Just randomly, because like one of my goals is to like wrestle in every one of the states, like the
there.
50
Got New
states.
York now. You're gonna be in
I
New
got New
York.
York off my list. I get also off my list during that trip, Connecticut on the 10th.
Ooh,
I do
who
New
you
York and
wrestling?
Connecticut on the same weekend.
Name drop
I
their
have
promotion.
I got Tennessee, which was Liberty's. I have Florida, so I'm down to 46.
Mm, you close. You close.
Uh,
Yeah.
I have my
So
sights set on going everywhere, and that's what I'm planning. Because not only do I want more experience, I want to get better. I want my name known out there. So this is what I love to do.
yeah. So you definitely have to get. You have to have that delicious New York slice of pizza when you hit
That's a
New York City,
classic. I have to.
and you have to go see the Empire State Building, and you have to go to one of those awesome restaurants, those Puerto Rican restaurants in the
Oh,
city to see.
I have a friend who lives in New York, and I've sent him a list of things that TikTok has, shown me. It's like if the moment TikTok knew I was going to New York, TikTok was like, you need to go here, 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 here. I've been to New York like 3 to 4 times already. 2 have been for New York Fashion Week, so I've never
What's
gotten like the
Fashion
full
Week?
2016 and 2021.
Wow, that's crazy, girl. So
So
definitely you gotta go to Yankee Stadium. You definitely have to go to like one or two of the museums in the city.
I did go
And
to the Sex Museum back in 2018.
definitely have
I
to go
didn't
see
get
the
to go to
movies.
many places in 2021 because of the pandemic,
Mm.
but I did like visited like a lot of places. I went to the whole infamous Cornelia Street from the Taylor Swift album Lover. That's about her old apartment back in Cornelia Street. I went there. I took a picture. I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I had to.
Gotta go to the Ghostbusters Firehouse on in Tribeca.
I need to go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to do everything that I can on that week.
That's a famous firehouse, not only because it was Ghostbusters. It's been there for like since the 20s. Even I think
Jesus.
because it used to have horseback, like a
Okay.
horseback carriage, and then that's why the inside is all rocky. So it's not like traditional flat cement. It's like cobblestone. In Tribeca,
Okay.
a lot of streets are cobblestone, so it's like old school road. So yeah, I'm a nerd. Ghostbusters is part of my life.
It's okay. We don't judge. This is a
No,
judgment-free zone. I'm even better than Planet Fitness right now.
yeah. So, is there anything else you want to talk about tonight before we
I'll let you choose subjects and we're good to go. Let's just
anything
go.
you've been collecting anything since the last time we were hanging out? Anything new?
The new company, IWA,
Mm.
which is a tremendous honor because one of like Puerto Rico's most influential figures, Sabio Vega, he's there and he was the first person I ever interviewed. And let me tell you, I was shaking.
He's a
Because
legend, that guy.
you hear so many stories when you're a kid, and then you finally see this person face to face, and I was like, oh no. But I managed the best I could in my with my best of my abilities, and it has been quite the ride. That transition from interviewer to wrestler.
Mm.
So yeah,
It's something else to do one thing and then you jump into the another thing. So, like in closing, if there was a young boy or young girl that wanted to get into the wrestling business, like about 18, I'm talking about 18 or 19-year-old, they they couldn't really figure out the landscape. What kind of advice would you give them?
I'd say depends on where you are. Get yourself very informed about the schools that are around your area. Um, just go in there, train hard. You'll get there eventually. Trust me, it has been quite the process. I started out late. My generation is crazy. Like a lot of my like graduating class from the dojo, that we're like we look very young, but we're like almost spiking 30, which is quite funny. And this new generation, they're like, fetuses, they're children, they're so small to us. And it's like, wow, but my
Yeah.
generation in particular didn't have like that advantage of like so many schools at that time, at least in Puerto Rico. I don't know how it works in the US. I've seen there's a lot of schools lately like regarding certain areas, which is freaking amazing if you ask me. But the first thing I would tell anyone is go to a reputable school, get your stuff together, plan things out, like what are your plans long and short term with wrestling. And literally, I know it sounds very cliche, but don't give up.
Awesome. I want to thank you so much for coming back on the podcast. And again, I know it sounds like very mopey, but it's good to have a fellow Puerto Rican back on the podcast because I haven't really had anybody from Puerto
But
Rico.
wait. There's something
Oh,
I did. There's something different. I
oh
have a
wait,
puppy here.
we
Because
have a
last
new
time I
face
had
in
my
this.
my senior puppy who unfortunately passed away. So now I
Hmm.
have this puppy.
What's his name or what's her name?
Her name is Amalia. She's very shy in
Yeah, she's not
comparison to my.
looking to the camera. She's like, no, we're not doing that
She's
today.
a mommy's girl though. She's a girl's girl.
All
This is
right,
my puppy.
all right. I would like to say, oh, keep the puppy in your arm for this the ending at the end of the podcast for the virtual selfie. I'm Joe Panther the third. Hey, wrong way. Your turn.
And I am Nahir Robles. Hola, hola.
And we will catch you in the next one. Good night, everybody.